Hey everybody, it's the 23rd of April 2017. With my job, I work at a veteran support center at the college I go to on the GI Bill. And one of the wonderful things with my job is we'll get students who'll come in who's contemplating joining the military. And they'll ask any varied, amount of questions depending on their interest level, their knowledge, so on and so forth. And I love talking to these kids to just give them a little bit of advice. And one of the main things I tell them is it's kind of twofold. One, kind of know who you are as a person before you ever start the process. And it doesn't matter if you're 17, 18, 20. I mean, I was 26 when I went in, so I was a little bit older. But you can be 17, 18 years old and know exactly who you are as a person at that point in time. But kind of who you are and where you are in life before you ever talk to the recruiter. Whenever you do talk to the recruiter, just be completely upfront with them. Okay. The first words I told my recruiter was, "I'm 25 years old. Don't lie to me." You don't have to be that direct. Okay. But they'll probably be a little bit surprised with you if you are that direct. But a recruiter is definitely going to give you the sales pitch, okay? But they also don't want to deal with possible recruits that really and truthfully don't want to go through the process, because it is and it can be a very long, arduous process in joining, okay? It could last 6 months. It could last a year. It could be there's any number of different obstacles that once you start that could hinder and postpone, you going to MEPS, going to basic training, so on and so forth. But basically, just be completely upfront with the recruiters. Know who you are as a person, and also talk to them. There's 5 different branches of the military, okay? This includes the Coast Guard. Your personality might scream U.S. Marine, okay? So why are you talking to the Air Force? Vice versa, okay? But you might not know that unless you've talked to all 5 of them, okay? So do talk to them, but don't be stuck on, I have to go into this one branch. Now, if you are dead set on joining one branch, maybe it's a family thing, maybe it's just something you've been enamored with that particular branch since you was a small child. If you understand, what it's going to take to go into that branch of service, and you're fully committed to it, then okay. But if you're not completely sure, and especially depending on your person, because the Marines, the reason I pick out the Marines, and I was in the Army, but the Marines, it's a special breed of person that goes into the Marines, okay? There's a lot of, fun bickering back and forth between service branches and so on and so forth, and that's to be expected, okay? Everybody's secretly jealous of the Air Force. I mean, and that's just the truth, because the Air Force, they do get the better perks, if you will. If it's truly the smartest branch, I don't know. But the Air Force, and plus the Air Force, the likelihood of you, in a combat situation, getting injured or killed is a lot less, unless you're a fighter pilot, so on and so forth. But that also doesn't discount anything that they do, because, if you're in the military, you're a patriot. Okay, so let's cut that out right away. One team, one fight. But the Marines, it's a very special kind of individual that goes into the Marines. The Army is the biggest supplier, if you will, of troops in the military as a whole. It's the biggest branch. The Air Force has a particular job. The Navy has a particular job. The Coast Guard definitely has a particular job guarding the coast around the United States. but but we all are part of the same military family. Um, so if you're watching the video and you're thinking about joining, again, basically just know who you are as a person. Okay. Um, Talk to the recruiters. Talk to all the different branches. Okay. Um, but know who you are. Okay. If you think you're stuck on the Marine Corps, but as a because of just what you've thought, but it doesn't really resonate you as a person, look at the Air Force, look at the Army, look at the Navy, look at the Coast Guard. Um, you might still end up joining the Marine Corps, or wherever you might be. If you think you're nothing but an Army soldier, but you're better off in the Navy, go Navy. Okay, might be the only time you ever hear me say go Navy, but anyway, look into it. Um, have a battle plan for what you want out of it. If you want to go into the military for 4 years, 3 years, 6 years, 8 years, 20 years, whatever the case might be, when you get in, have a few set directives of what you want out of it. Okay? Don't go in just aimlessly, throwing darts against a wall, with no real clear purpose for why you're there. Okay? Know what you want out of it. Okay? And you might not fully know what you want out of it until you get into it and you kind of see really what is going on. But that's also part of what you need to do when you're talking to a recruiter. Okay? Talk to your recruiters and let them just really walk you through step by step what it entails about being in the military. Okay? And take it to heart. Okay? If your recruiter does try to, discourage you here and there, they're only doing it because time is money to a recruiter. Okay? The military spends, I forget the exact amount of money, but it's in the tens of thousands of dollars for each individual applicant from start process to completion. Okay? So if the recruiter is working with you and you're not fully committed, at some point in time, it's going to come out. Okay? That's money not only the military's wasted, it's time they've wasted. Okay? And they've put maybe a better applicant on the back burner because they're dealing with someone who doesn't fully, really, really want to go through the process. But be upfront with them. So if you talk to a recruiter, say tomorrow, which will be on Monday, be upfront with them. Say, hey, I'm not fully committed yet. I'm just trying to figure out options for my life. And they'll give you the basic sales pitch, the basic information, so on and so forth, and they'll let you walk out the door. And if you want to come back to either them or another recruiter at some point in time, great. And if you don't, no harm, no foul. You've received some valuable information, and they've given you valuable information. So they've put that seed out. So they've done their job. But once you get in, if you want to become if you start enlisted as a private, if you want to end up becoming a 4 or 5 star general possibly one day, you can do it. Okay, it's all up to you. If you want to go in and just be a barracks rat where you chase the boys or the girls, regardless of whatever your orientation is and your sex, and your choices. If you want to just drink it up, you can do that. Okay. Just don't do it to the excess where you get in major trouble because those negative ramifications could come back on you later on with the lack of benefits. Maybe your GI Bill's cut, so on and so forth. But, anyway, I'm going to cut this here real short here, about 10 minutes, but basically, whenever you're thinking about going in, just go in with a battle plan, be completely upfront, kind of know who you are, and once you get in, it's anything you want it to be. Okay, it is the military. They train you with a weapon for a reason. There's a likelihood you will deploy. There's a likelihood that you will enter into combat. There's a likelihood of injury. There's a likelihood of death. Okay? But know that going in. Okay, it shouldn't be a surprise. They're not training you with an M16 or an M4 or any other weapon system just for the hell of it. Okay, but that's also a part about knowing who you are as a person. Okay, and what you're committed to. But anyway, so if you've watched the video and you think any of this is helpful and beneficial to you, then great. Okay, and if not, hope you had a good time listening to me ramble. So this is Caleb signing off the net.